preparing the stream for liveness. These fans can get their jollies. And it is, are we there yet? Oh, we're live on YouTube. Okay, we are. For liveness. And shut that up. And here we go. Welcome to the GH Mini Spotlight and Recap. I am one of your hosts, James Lott Jr. I'm here, of course, with my usual, I won't say, almost a gaggle of gals, but that's Tony's line audition days. I'm here with my usual peeps with me, Miss Lacretia, Lyon, and her cat, Banksy. Like, hi, kitty. And it's like, so cute.
Yeah, and Banky here.
And then we got Mr. Frank Moran down below smiling. Hello, Frank.
Hello, everybody.
Lacretia and I are drinking already because, why not? They banned us from eating outside now in LA, so I'm upset because I was sitting outside. It's beautiful weather in LA. It's beautiful weather. That's done. I mean, that's I guess stay inside and watch General Hospital, I guess. That's what I have to do now. So that's kind of crazy. We're here about this week that was in Port Charles. A new Lucas, where the F did he come from? And, of course, the big explosion at the end. Who's going to live? Who's going to die? I hope it's Lulu. Okay, so we're going to talk about what's going on. Before I even do that, I just got to say, we won't be on next week because James Lott Jr. is effing tired and taking the weekend off. But we're back December 6th. I know, boo. I know. I was like, James, I can't give anymore. I give and I give, and that's it. But we will be back after that. But next Monday, debuting on JOJ Media is the second audio series coming to you, Mistletoe Road. So you want to watch that? Wait, listen to that. Sorry, watch that. Listen to that. So that's coming up on November 30th. GH kids. What do you guys think about the week that was? Lacretia, what do you think?
I have not been this surprised in a long time with most TV shows. So the whole bombing and how that came about, I will say, was a little shocking. And it was very reminiscent of like good 90s GH. And to where there are people that you assume are fine, Liz, Cameron, Franco, but who knows with these days, because they've been able to keep some stuff under wraps. I mean, we saw a new Lucas out of nowhere, which I really like the guy. I hope we see more. And I hope this means we'll get Lucas in a story, especially since his dad was the one to click boom.
Oh, no, how funny is that? No. Right. It's funny because somebody, Tara Kinnan said, we didn't even get the role of Lucas Jones.
Yeah.
And I've read nothing anywhere. I mean, Frank, have you seen anything about Ryan Karn? I mean, it's completely, there was nothing out there.
I was surprised when he first came up. I was like, "Oh, who's this?" And then, this is Lucas. All right.
Yeah, Julian said Lucas enough times, so we knew.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm guessing we don't get this role is not played by because it's been so long since we've seen Ryan Carnes on there. So maybe they're just like, well, we can just. I mean, if it had been like a week or two, I could see them kind of refreshing viewers. But otherwise,
Yeah.
I mean, like, who cares? He's like, who cares? It's not all that often.
I mean, because the whole baby thing got revealed, was it January and February? And so,
yeah.
I mean, and
you're right.
Brad went to prison in probably February, maybe early March. So it's probably been 6 months at least since we've seen Lucas.
Brad being back. I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. I didn't expect that. I mean, it's a soap, it's always possible, but I was like, oh, okay, again. Under wraps.
It was
somebody told me like a few days before, or I wouldn't have known. But even Perry Shin had kept pretty tight lip about that. So, and that's what I'll say is like, it wouldn't surprise me if there are people that you don't expect to die or go or be recast.
I'd be surprised either. I mean, on all these soaps, a lot of things are happening. Trust me. That we are not. People are leaving, coming, going. Brianna Lane had her last week as Brooklyn. She's out and back out, and Amanda Sutton will be back soon.
Yeah,
her pregnancy, so she'll be back. Did you get used to Brianna Lane as Frank? Did you get used to her yet?
I mean, these last couple of weeks we had less of the looking away when I'm hiding something look that she would do. So she was fine. I mean, I guess we're gonna see that Brooklyn will come back with possibly a Cassadon baby. So
Yeah. I actually like the way they teased that, and I'm sure that this was kind of planned from the get-go because Amanda was pregnant, and I think they knew that going into the storyline, and it just makes sense because again, this can all be tied with ELQ. But I did sort of like how they left it with Valentin, and I thought Brianna and James had a really fun chemistry, and I like that they're friends. I don't feel like this is going to be your typical storyline because, as far as we know, there's no who's the daddy. That she at least thinks Valentin's a good dad with Charlotte, so there won't be any of this trying to keep him from his kid. And it just seems set up like this might be a good chapter for Brooklyn, a little growing up more than anything.
I'd agree. Yeah, 'cause it's nice that we don't have those those kind of familiar tropes when it comes around pregnancy. So I'd be down for her coming back and just surprising Valentin at an inopportune time, but just say, "Here's your slash daughter."
Yes, I agree too. Side note, what?
Oh no, I would imagine it'll probably come at a time when he's just about to really seal the deal with some other woman on campus.
With Anna, I'm guessing, or maybe because to me, Nina's going down a different path, and I feel like even this week when they had that scene with Charlotte, I'm like, why is this happening? Because I felt like they had already left it and sort of were moving on, but it may have ties to with whatever happens with Lulu more than anything. Because I do feel like we are going towards a Valentin and Anna finally.
I think so. I just want to say really quick about hi to everybody in the chat room. And I have to tell you guys, so the number one, I was checking some numbers I had looked at in a few weeks or whatever. The number one show on my whole network, audio and video, is Jason Lee Spotlight and Recap. This show that we three do every week it's doing such good numbers. I was actually aghast. I was shocked. It was like a soap opera shock. I was like, oh my goodness. So I want to say thank you to you guys. You guys are like actually watching us and listening to us. I looked at the numbers for the audio part, and you guys are listening to us. I'm like, I really want to thank you. I mean, I didn't know I was going to be dragged back into this. I just kind of did it for fun. I couldn't quit Frank and Lacretia. No.
Even with me here, it's still doing well, which is
it's still doing well, Frank. It's crazy. But they're all here for Lacretia first of all. That's like number one.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're secondary. But no, I just want to seriously, I want to say thank you guys, because you guys really are. I mean, like showing. I mean, we did better numbers last week than we ever have. So I just want to say thank you. I mean, I really appreciate that. You guys are the best. You guys are the best fans. I do all the soap shows. You guys are the best fans. Clearly. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. That's what we're thankful for this Thanksgiving. Even Kat's into the show. That's what Moran said. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Banky's the newest cast member. She's also on Forever in a Day.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. But totally, we literally wouldn't be here doing this if you guys didn't show up. So I mean,
I don't just talking to avoid.
I'd be talking to you. I got nothing else going on.
What are the mics here? Yes. Okay. So let's get back into it. I just want to make sure I mention that. I mean, you guys are just amazing. So okay. Several things happened this week that are very interesting. Some things got my nerves. Some things made me happy. And I love that Laura is back in the thick of everything.
Yeah.
Do we think we know what it is? Because they still haven't told us. It's still, I mean, she tells Sonny on Friday, I gotta talk to you. But now the explosion obviously is happening, probably gonna derail that. But like, what do we think we know what it is? What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I wonder, is this gonna be some undiscovered chapter of Laura's childhood that we don't know about? Or is it something that is at least referenced from back in the day? And I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's the latter because she contacted Scotty, and I believe that all played out on screen when she met him. And being as it's 40 years ago, they both were on the show then. And I think they would keep that timeline. And that's something that they're really doing well these days, is going back into history and putting things on there. Just like even having a character like Jackie Templeton be Chase's mom and connected to people in his life already is something that they're doing much better. So I feel like this is the same thing.
Everyone in the chat is mentioning who Laura's killed. No. You know, back in the day.
A few people.
Yeah.
Like Alexis.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, she killed a few people. So what's interesting to me is that she did say to Lulu, this is why I'm kind of leaning towards Lacretia, even though I wouldn't rule out Frank's thing, because JH has done shit like that before too. She said to Lulu, I still have feelings for Scotty. Even though it was so long ago.
Yeah.
She's on her old Dustin, my life. She mentioned Scotty. I mean, she didn't say Luke. She didn't say Luke. She didn't say Luke. She said Scotty. And Scotty's still on the show. So I was going, they said there was, I'm sure it wasn't a throwaway line. She was just like, yeah, I still have feelings for him. It's, you know, it's complicated, blah, blah. Because that was her first love, was Scotty.
Yeah.
Luke came later. So, but I thought that was very strategic, she said, Scotty. That's why I'm kind of.
That scene did stick out to me in the sense, not necessarily to the backstory of whatever this mystery incident that happened, but yeah, for the fact that Luke didn't get a name check in there as well. And I just don't know if it's because it'd be so obvious to Lulu that she still has feelings, because they have a family and children together. But I don't know. I mean, I still feel like that would have made more sense to mention Luke's name because of Dante and Lulu having children as well.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Frank. I just thought, well, plus usually parents. I'm a parent, and they usually say like, when you don't mean your mother, you kind of mention the parents when you're talking about them, and she didn't. But I thought Scotty, that was interesting, that was her first love. That was her first thing. That makes sense completely. So yeah, dropping notes to remind us of history. I think so. Exactly, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Kind of say, okay, set it up. Hopefully, I like Frank. We get a little nervous. We hope the payoff happens. I'm with you, Frank. Trust, I know what you're thinking.
Yes.
What you're thinking. So I'm like, I hope that they don't just lay it up and then it's just a dead serve. I want it to be something that goes over the net, and all three of us are going, oh my God, that's amazing. I love history. I think, why not? I mean, it's, you know, there's a lot of history to be mined. Bringing back Jackie Templeton, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's all related. I think it's all gonna be related. Well, a great story would be wonderful. I think you guys would agree.
Well, I'm curious because, yeah, I mean, you know, it's been written that, you know, Jeannie Francis is no longer on contract. Right. So, and I know that was a big sticking point with her last time, is that she just didn't want to come in for a lesser number of episodes per year. But I don't know if, you know, given the time we're in now, or just you know, where she is currently in life, if priorities or, you know, just necessarily needs that you have for a job have changed, and sense that she's fine coming back in on just this story based.
Well, that's Wally Kurth. He said on both shows, Days Are Alive, he's like, I don't want to be contract. He's like, I like being on both shows when they need me. Laura Tracy's coming back, which we all know now. It's Jane Elliott. There's a rumor she might bring somebody with her. I don't think it's gonna be Lulu. I don't think it'll be Lulu. I mean, great if it's Anthony. I don't think it is. So
I mean, I'd be down for a Dylan revival, but
yes.
Yeah.
But who? A new Dylan?
I do wonder.
Beautiful, and Robert Paul Walken is the movie out. Maybe he'll come. Maybe he came back for a minute. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see them doing something like that, because I think he is in LA, and that's sort of been how they can get people or not. Because I know that they're really not hiring anybody that's based out, or they had to quarantine to come back, like people like Roger and Jeannie. Like, not everyone lives there.
Right, and that's why Katie McLean is on Days of Our Lives. Because Lindstrom, of course, is on General Hospital. They're in LA. I mean, she's a talented actress, obviously, that too. But they just made it easier because she's already in LA. And she was already quarantined with her husband, who they know is okay on General Hospital. So I think it's just kind of all worked around. So I know a lot of the casting has been. I know Young Restless to do the same thing to bring in Melissa Ordway's husband in, and some. I mean, there's this thing happening because they all live in LA. But now LA is getting worse right now, apparently. So I don't know how that's going to affect the soaps at the moment either. So it's every day it's changing.
Well, General Hospital is the only one to not have to shut down at all. Now, Days only shut down a day or two, but the other two have had to take weeks off.
Yeah. And both shut down now. They're dark now because they had another COVID case, but they're dark anyway because of the holidays. So.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So it's kind of, so people thinking of David Hamilton. So there's a lot of choices. So, but I like that Laura's back in the thick of things, and I'm glad that she met Dante. She saw Dante.
Yeah,
that was nice. She was nice to him.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. I mean, Sonny gets the big hug from Laura.
Yes.
It's like, I mean, Dante, especially when she says, "Oh, I completely understand why you did what you did," but Dante is very still standoffish. I thought, like, Laura's a warm person when she gave him a hug, but she was very kind of just kept her distance from Dante.
Well, you know, that's not her son. That's her ex-son-in-law. So there.
But it wasn't like he did anything horrible.
It's nice to see you. No, you did. You dissed my daughter, so it's nice to see. I'm glad you're back. That's Laura.
Isn't that shady?
Yeah, she's like, yeah. But she was nice. But I love seeing Sonny and Laura together. Just anyway, it makes me happy seeing them together. So
yeah, their scenes are always so good, and that's why I like when Jeannie wasn't ready to come back. We had Lulu filling in for those. I thought that was always a nice touch.
That was it was appropriate. It was appropriate. And see, Daisy agrees with me. Well, he did hurt her daughter, Frank. Like, hello, I was saying, like, she's friendly to him, but you don't get no hugs. No hugs from me.
Well, and Laura wasn't there for a lot of the Dante stuff. Like when you think about it, she really wasn't on the show as much when Lulu and Dante were together.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
She was in France, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think as much as I enjoy a Laura and Sonny scene, it still ended as being one of the cheesiest scenes I'd seen the whole week, where when they're talking about Dante and Lulu meeting again at the floating rib, they're just smiling so weirdly at each other, like, oh, I don't think that'll be a problem. Oh, boo.
I have several issues with this week and the floating rib, but we'll get to that in a sec.
Well, now
let's let kids go to a bar. That's another story.
Yeah.
That's started. I'm like, we're going to see Danny again. No, let's talk about now. We're going to see Danny again at the floating rib where there's drinks and people. I'm at a pool. I'm like, what? And then Cameron and them are like hanging out at the bar. And I'm like, what?
I was like, are they there for the ribs? Because I always felt that place was a bar, not like a restaurant with a bar, right. A bar. Like,
right. That's what I thought too, girl. Am I wrong, kids? I thought it was a bar that Mac decided to add food to, like bars have. They have food.
Yeah, because wasn't it Jake's before it was the floating rib? And then, it was the floating rib years ago was something too, but it's always been a bar scene. Yes, right. It'd be one thing if the kid is sitting at like Charlie's is more like a restaurant bar. Yeah.
Yes. They should have, but I see Jason would hang out there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You wouldn't hang out there. Kelly's. Should have Kelly's.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it should. I was thinking, where else can you eat? Kelly, get a BLT.
But they couldn't get Jason and his mating ritual with the pool table there.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I like Jason and Britt.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have not been excited about a Jason love story in forever, but I actually am all for Jason and Britt because like Steve Burton lights up. Because what I like about her is she'll push back at Jason. She doesn't just go, oh yeah, Jason, like sadly most women have done except for Carly.
You said for never. But I'm excited. I mean, for some reason I don't know if it's planned or not. I just feel like, well, they weren't really around each other, I guess, for other go-rounds. Not really. I mean, so I'm seeing something.
I feel like we are getting we're definitely just getting Sam out of Jason's orbit, especially if, events transpire as they may with this explosion. But yeah, I feel like they are testing him with Britt because that would be interesting. And to me, he has chemistry with Jordan too. I wouldn't mind Jordan and Jason. But yeah, Jason and Sam, and I know that they have a big fan base, but there's just not the same where they are anymore.
Is it Jarrett or Bryson? I'm trying to think of names for them. Jason and Britt. I kind of like Jarrett, but they have Bryson. It's kind of cute. Bryson.
Stone Cold Bridge.
Oh, I like that. That's like a good song, actually.
Yeah, it's long, but I feel like we could do it.
Okay, now wait. So, Michael B, I'm gonna call you out. You're gonna try to tell me, aren't the kids like 17 or 18 now, and you should not be in a bar at 17 or 18? Hello, I was.
Yeah, my dad worked there, so
I was. But hello, and Jake was with his dad, and you should bring kids to a bar. Hello.
My dad did, but okay.
Again,
bad example.
Exactly. I say, Lacretia, I was going to bars at 15. That's on the story too.
Yeah.
The 80s.
Well, and that's what I'll say is this is making Jason look like a bad parent, and I think because it's supposed to. Because we have not seen Sam with her kids or really talking about her kids in a while, and we've set that up just before this to be like, oh yeah, this is all Jason. It's like, really? I mean,
I know. I mean, but on some level, I'm happy to see Danny. On some level, I'm like, he's alive. So,
Yeah, for now.
For me, I mean, it seemed kind of like it catches you by like, what? This is weird to see underage kids in here. But if you keep playing into the fact that I guess we're playing at the restaurant side of the floating rib as opposed to the bar side, then you can get away with having underage kids enjoying the food, and enjoying the great soft drinks that the floating rib is for.
Yep.
Rashawn and James is all like, well, they have plenty of establishments like that, though. No, what they do is you have a separation. Usually the bar is over here and the restaurant's over here. Usually there's some kind of like either a partition or archway or something. And if you're underage, you're with the family in the restaurant section.
But is this the first time the video has been seen at Floating Rib? I don't remember seeing one before.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't either.
But some great acting. Oh, it was a little rough.
But they're all together, and and Dev is like setting something up, isn't he? Well, he was obviously with Cameron. I heard some rumors what might happen to him. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Dev's a goner in this, because to me, I feel like that was the only reason to have them there, because he was going to come to Cameron too. He felt bad because Cameron defended him, and he's like, "Yeah, I really shouldn't have done this," and of course that'll be what's left hanging.
Yes,
Much as I'm excited to use this as a way to kind of write off Dev, because I feel like there's really nothing left to be said in the storyline. There's really nothing to do with Dev. But I did like the touch of him being the one, given his background and his history, to see a backpack underneath the table and given where he's been from, immediately think like, oh, wait, this is suspicious.
Something suspicious,
not something that somebody just accidentally left behind.
Everybody in chat's like, bye, Dev. Dev can go like, nobody, no love lost there. They're like, bye. I guess we can all kind of agree. I mean, a character that came on with potential, I feel. And then that's it, kids. I'm saying that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to say. But it's like he came on with potential, and then just kind of
they wasted it.
Component, it made it weirder, because then it was like, well, they got Brando. Supposedly, it made it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you needed some kind. We've talked about casualties on this gang war, and I feel like Dev is somebody that can be close enough to Sonny without being a main member that can be killed off and still fuel Sonny with that kind of anger that the storyline is going to need.
Because
it's disposable. Bye.
That is how things work, though, because that's the thing with the floating rib is you had people like Jason and Liz, your vets, and then people they care about like Cameron, or I care about like Franco, and then of course Lulu. But yeah, Dustin, Dev, and sadly even Danny. I feel like it would have been the triple Ds that were the possible deaths. Yeah, but I'm thinking at least one is true. I feel
James Lott Jr.
Yeah, what? I've heard that too, but I just don't see them doing it this way. I feel like maybe she's fakes a death just like they did with Taggart, or she's in a coma. I don't see them killing off Lulu Spencer this way.
I wish they would, but that's just me. But I guess I guess we'll find out hopefully tomorrow. We'll find out this week. But
yeah,
I heard all those rumors, and again, no offense to the actress Emmy Riley, I like her. The character just wasn't written well, and she can come back from the dead anytime. I mean, they can kill her.
Yeah, I mean, Lucky came back from the dead, and Nicholas came back from the dead.
It's her turn. They're all. Julian didn't see his grandson Danny in there.
Well, I guess he was flanked by Cameron and Dev playing the video game, so I guess he was kind of blocked from his view.
Right.
That's the only reason I could think that's why they had that scene. He's still in the bar, but away.
They said Rashawn and James said just the same thing. Yeah, Dev and Cameron were shielding him.
Yeah.
Lou's, oh my God, Michael B's all, Lou's face is blown off, and new chick will take her place.
I actually kind of figured that this was amping up for a recast, or even if it's like the original Julie Marie, and that may be the thing is like we have her be burned so that she'll look different.
Oh, she should be burned. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. She should be burned. It's always just so nonchalant we talk about it. Well, she get her face blown off. Like usual.
Hey, these are characters on a TV show. Not like these are real people.
They are, Lacretia. They are.
I think shame about Dustin though, because I mean the character really there was nothing done with him, And so to have this scene, like it would have been meant more. It still was awkward the way that this whole proposal happened, and that scene played. It wouldn't have. It's just the fact that Dustin was not picking up on very obvious context clues.
Yeah,
but
that was weird because he'd usually been pretty good. It just came out of nowhere.
And it would just, if they would have taken time to develop that romance better, it would have paid off much more in this. Now it's just like, oh, he's an easily added body count to this explosion.
Yeah, I know. I liked his character. I thought he could.
I like Mark too. Yeah, it's one of those that he was great on One Life to Live, and that was a character that didn't have to stick around, but they liked him, so they tried to figure out what to do with him. And yeah, he may live. That's just my speculation of the people that would have been expendable for General Hospital.
Yeah. Just a little mention. Oh, go ahead, Frank.
I mean, I would totally be down, and if we see a Dante and Dustin team up to get revenge, let's see it.
I want to give a little shout out,
like Brando and TJ.
Yes, exactly. I want to give a little shout out. This last week was 39 years ago, the largest audience in daytime TV ever in history. For 2 days, I was there. I was in your high school. I was there for 2 days. Watched Luke and Laura get married. The largest audience of daytime to still 39 years later. Still of all time, and so I just want to make sure I mentioned that. That was something that was very interesting this week. So it's fun to see Laura. She's still on the show, still doing her thing 39 years later.
Can you? What was it like watching that in real time?
We rushed home from school to go over and watch. We left school early. Even the teachers were like, they were all went to I get to. It was one of those events that everyone was like invested. Same. It was the 40th anniversary of Who Shot JR. Last week also, and I remember that too, and how we were all just like, oh my god, like it was just like it was a big deal. It was a really big deal to find out that Kristen done it. Spoiler alert, if you know Ross Dallas, Kristen did it. And it was, people were saying in the chat they skipped school. If you guys have any memories, please share them in the chat room. It was this thing where we knew all week was coming. They advertised on TV. There was only 3 channels back then. That's all there was. MTV was like a few weeks old. It was like CNN was a few weeks. They were all new. It was a big deal, and we just knew it was one of those collective experiences that's really rare nowadays. And I just remember the Who Shot JR thing, that, and the MASH ending. Those 3 things we all watched all 3 of those things together. Like everybody saw it, and I remember we all got my friend's house. It was like 30 of us. We all piled in. We sat in front of this little TV, one of those console TVs that were on the floor. There's like furniture back in the day. And the rabbit ears were up, and we were just like trying to adjust the rabbit ears. And then and ABC came in, and we just sat there, and we all just watched everything. Those 2, both days, and it was like acceptable. Like everyone was in, like everyone, the country was into it. Rob said he was 11 years old, skipped school. No one said they watched it there. No one. I mean, it was just one of those things that it was such a big event that people who didn't even watch soaps watched it because it was just like this big. Everybody talk. You won't be left out.
Did it live up to your expectations?
Yes. Well, because Scotty came back. That was a big thing. But he comes back, catches the bouquet, and you're like, what? And as you remember, there's no social media. Some Digest didn't report any of this stuff. There was no soap net. There was nothing to go find spoilers. There was no such thing as spoilers back then. You literally had to watch it in real time. Secrets were kept. And when Scotty caught that bouquet, you're like, what? That was like, it was a big deal. It was a big, and then Elizabeth Taylor shows up as Helena Cassidy. We're like, I mean, Elizabeth Taylor. I mean, that was like, I mean, she was kind of like a joke at the time because she was about her fatness and everything. But she was still old Hollywood. She was a star, and it was so just like, oh my goodness, it was just crazy. So, Travis Marshall, I'm going to call you out. This is about General Hospital. I just decided to mention it because it was a special occasion. We were talking about the week that was also, but just take a little moment to mention it. It's a major moment in history. We're talking about it for a second. It's a recap and spotlight show. So that's what we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just want to say it was just a great moment in history, and it was something that it was a shared experience that we don't have very much anymore. And I know everybody in the chat room, I'm sure, agrees. We want good General Hospital like those days.
Yes.
We want General Hospital where every single episode is just exciting and good storylines and good pairings. That's what we want. That's why we watch the show. So there you go. If VHS tapes, yes, there's that too. Okay, so
I used to tape the soaps on the VHS when
too.
I was in school. Yeah.
Me too. I used to do the same thing. So the character Dustin, he decides to oppose to Lulu. That's probably not going to happen. That's probably dead in the water, literally.
Literally.
Dead. We have Franco and Liz. So I want to go before that when they had to talk about humor. I'm telling you, Lacretia,
You're seeing it.
Are just like, James, what's going on? I'm literally falling for this storyline.
Yeah, I will say that they've really figured out that Frizz is your stable couple right now, because let's let Ned be messy. Let's give Wally good material. I'm all in for it. Let's let Liv have an adventure with Robert. Great. But you have to have one stable couple. And I think we have Sonny and Carly in a way, which is strange. And then we also have Liz and Franco, who got together as town pariahs. So I feel like this is a nice dichotomy that they're doing. And with Frizz there, they are talking these things out. Franco only kept it a secret a few days, and we're seeing a lot more of that wrapping up, not drawing out things. Because it's like, even Liz pointed out, were you just gonna lie to me and say you're off on a commission every time when you're having to go through surgery? And he's like, I didn't think it through, and I was scared. And I like that. I like how vulnerable Franco is these days with Liz, and he's fine with it. It's like, I was scared. Most people would not do that. And in their chat with Cam, it's like, oh my God, William Lifton is just so good. He is a young Jonathan Jackson. I really like him. And I like that we got to have that moment. Like, yes, of course, we're going to ruin Cam's school day or whatever. But I liked how it was like awkward and weird when he's like, who died? That's very teenage boy. And then it's like, oh, and it's very Cameron to be sensitive, because we see him with his brothers and with Franco and his mom. He is that kid. So I like that this is a family story. Like, they are this couple, but Franco is the father to these kids. And that's what's important here too. And that's what he was focused on.
And there was a Patrick Drake shout out.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal.
From Britt,
Jason
too.
Thompson, he just had a birthday. So he just had a birthday. Shout out to Jason Thompson. But he's happily busy as Billy on YNR right now, in a major storyline right now. So he's a little busy right now. He's doing okay. So if they bring it up, have a recast. I'm thinking, which I thought maybe this new Lucas guy would be, but that's
But I'm also fine too of him just being off canvas for 2 or 3 days, and we just refer to like, oh yeah, we need to see the West Coast adventure. We can just hear about it when he gets back.
Yeah, I like the mention of Patrick, and it's interesting to me that they mentioned him 2 days in a row. So maybe we are getting a recast Patrick, or did they forget that Griffin was a neurosurgeon? I was like, Dr. Hot Priest Griffin, what do we want to call him? But yeah, because I mean, Matt Cohen, he does Extra, I think, or is it Entertainment Tonight? It's one of those. But yeah, I mean, he could come back. I'd all be for it.
But is he as good as Patrick Drake? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick was number 1. I think Griffin was number 2. It's certainly in the way that they laid it out on General Hospital. But hey, he's a neurosurgeon too.
I mean, it seems like from this is that, I mean, they're setting this up to be like, there's really no hope for Franco. Because it is interesting coming so soon, relatively soon, off the heels of Oscar, where they're skipping some of the that we would ordinarily get, like when they go back in for the second results and really get the finality of it. That's just breezed by in dialogue. We don't see any of that. They're just skipping parts of that stuff.
Maybe they listened to people that were really annoyed with how long and drawn out the Oscar stuff was. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot of, is they realize that's not what people are that into. Yes, it's drama, but you get so much more from just the talking after from the people that actually like matter. It's nice that Terry is Liz's friend, so they can have scenes with her and they actually have that emotional impact, but just a random doctor might not.
Yeah. It is interesting. Well, I mean, people get brain tumors.
Marlon Wallace.
Yeah.
Marlon Wallace says, Dr. Hot Priest, not to be confused with Hot Priest from Fleabag. I haven't seen Fleabag yet. I do want to watch it. It looks funny for myself.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes. It's pretty funny.
Looks like it's funny. I've seen it. But yeah, this storyline is actually, I'm actually engaged. I'm like you guys. I'm curious to see where they're going to actually go. I mean, are they going to kill him? Or are they going to do a whole dark Franco for a while? And I mean, I guess it could happen. I mean, I guess it could last for a couple of years. I mean, it could last for a while. I mean, stage 4 terminal could be last from weeks to years.
I think I saw, they have a lot of these spoiler little tidbits or whatever that are very vague because they do change it. And I do feel like there was some changes with this new storyline, but I think it said that the tumor would unravel a mystery. So I do wonder if it's tied to like Drew and those memories more if Franco survives the explosion and stuff. And that's me. I'm like, brain tumors can mean personality changes, especially with someone like Franco who has that history. But they could also go another direction because of that silly memory mapping thing.
Yes. So we don't know. But it's a storyline I'm actually kind of wait to see what happens, I guess. Another storyline that started coming to a head. And I mean, again, Julian is a sad sack Julian. He just seems to he can't win for lose, they say. And just before he ends up pressing a button for a burner phone, which turns out to be the bomb. Which he'll have that on his conscience now too.
Why did he not think about that being a possibility? Because that's like in every movie.
Hello. I'm like, come on, Julian. You're a mobster. You know what's going on.
I love Jules, but he's way prettier than he is smart. Yeah.
I had thought I knew where the storyline was going. That Alexis is going to be at the floating rib and Julian's going to run back in. And get caught in the explosion and then sacrifice himself for Lex. That's what I thought was happening.
Too.
Yeah, I could have seen that. Yeah.
And so when it didn't play out this week, I was genuinely to the point where, when he did press the number, it makes sense after the fact for sure that, like, of course, Cyrus would set him up to be the patsy of this as well. But I was not expecting that explosion to happen then. I thought Julian would be in the floating room, but it went down. So I'm curious to see how Julian will be written off now. This is making me very interested.
Yeah, like you, Frank, I thought that Julian would for sure die in the explosion because we know without a doubt Will is done with General Hospital because he said it. But yeah, to me, I was like, wow, they really made sure that Julian cannot come back, at least for a while, because whether he lives or dies at this point, he could have killed his grandson. And we already saw him flipping through pictures. He's already dealing with all this guilt and he didn't want to do that. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have Julian kill himself to save Danny if Danny's hurt because, they are a match or whatever. That would give him a little bit of a redemption in a dark way. But yeah, I don't feel like we're getting a light at the end of the tunnel for Julian. Something's going down and it's dark. But those last scenes with him and Alexis, so good.
Everybody, we're talking about everybody's finding it. Yes, and like I said, Alexis got her licks in. Drunk Alexis, drinking Alexis got her licks in. And it's funny because they said I love Alexis telling Julian he didn't have to worry about her running him over. That's kind of out to her past. And I just thought, because it's just crazy. Those two, you guys all in the chat room probably agree. Those two had chemistry in their heyday. It was Alexis was it. The show ruined them totally to the point they can't get back together.
No, and even seemed like Nancy Lee Grant's farewell to William as well. I mean, you could tell that she knew what they had was really good too. So
yeah, and to me, I felt a lot of realness in that last scene with them because they understand what that couple really was and how popular they were, and to see again, sort of digging a hole there for them to never reunite. But never say never. But not to go off topic, but Tara Kindle in the chat made me laugh by saying the tumor is actually Drew. I was like, okay, that's good. That deserves a mention.
Well, also, K Coco Candy one says that would be a callback to Storm Lacretia if he killed himself. Bold and the Beautiful.
Oh yeah, I think I saw somewhere where they did that because that's a storyline that they don't really touch a lot on soaps. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't watch Born Beautiful at that time, but he played Storm after he left Michael Cambias. He played Storm, and he killed himself to give his heart to his sister, which is Heather Tom on the show.
Oh,
so that's kind of what happened. Yeah, so but Lacretia didn't know that. So I don't think she knew
That's
that.
cool. Yeah,
So-
because I think I remember seeing someone saying like he played a character that had killed himself before, but I didn't know about the heart and
Yeah.
the
so-
because I don't really watch Bold, although I'm watching the doll fucking storyline. I mean,
Oh,
Well,
a whole other stuff with that storyline. We
Yeah.
talked about that. Bold Beautiful Me Spotlight is already out there. It's on today. We went bananas over the talking doll, and it's just they're doing Days of Our Lives stuff. I don't know what's going on in that show right now. So it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Can we get Matthew Atkinson as Dylan when that wraps up? Because
Well, I
like he
know.
deserves better work. He's a good actor.
I wrote a little thing. I said her name is Annika Noel, and I go, I hope Annika Noel is getting paid well. That's what I said today. I was like, if she
Yeah.
worked, I'm like, oh my god, it's kind of crazy. But anyway. But yeah, so yeah, William DeVry he played Storm Logan.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And so yeah, so Katie Logan has his heart, played by Heather Tom. Anyway, so Ava be left with Julian mess completely. The explosion. Yeah, Dante was outside. Okay, so the thing about before all that, so after that, Alexis is not going to in there. She's going to go to an intervention.
I love that Diane brought Valentin and even sort of laid it out like, seriously, guys, I know, but like, and it did make sense that you're going to have someone there that's not going to be that emotional. And I know that even Jamie Giddens was like, where's where's Ned and Jax and anybody, or even Sonny? And I'm like, well, none of them have. Ned slept with her, and so he's kind of like avoiding her. Jax and Alexis probably won't be sharing many scenes together from now on. And then you have the fact that Sonny's got a lot on his plate. So it really did make sense that it was Valentin because they have this friendship.
I certainly personal beliefs and thoughts aside, it does seem weird, at least from character standpoint, that Jax is not there. I mean, I could see Sonny, it makes sense. Sonny,
Yeah.
I don't need Sonny there for that. But Jax would be the one person that would be weird that it wasn't there. But what I did like
Go ahead.
was that you have Sam when Diane is reading like all about the intervention, and Valentin's like, "Hey, it doesn't matter what we say or how we flower up the words. She's going to be angry." And they have Sam and Christina go, you don't know, Valentin. Like, it's common sense, guys. Anybody that's going to have an intervention dropped on them is going to be angry at first. So get out of here. I would rather them thrown out Sam and Christina and just have it been Diane and Valentin doing the intervention.
Yeah, they would have gotten more with Sam and Molly there. Christina, there was at least mention of why she wasn't there, other than budget reasons. But it's one of those things that it's like, guys, like they can't have everyone in every scene. I know we'd all love it, but there's only so much.
Yeah, they can't.
And with the big explosion, the same episode, yeah.
And also COVID stuff too. They're trying to be careful.
Yeah.
Tara Kindle brings up, I didn't know about this Finn. He's been shot, but he should have been at least known or wheelchaired in or something. I don't know, but because that's her friend too and recovery buddy.
Well,
Yeah, I do feel it's weird that even with everything going on, because before he was shot, like he should have known, but Sam avoided telling him. And I thought that was weird because he has a lot of stuff going on now, but she doesn't really know that.
Yes. Oh, yes. Bold and Beautiful is doing a mannequin storyline. Yes, they are. Trust me, they are. They go Lacretia Lyon, LL2 or Frizz, which is better?
Well, here's the thing. It's just like the young Luke and Laura versus Luke and Tracy. Young Liz and Lucky with Jonathan Jackson and Becky Hurst as teenagers, perfect. But then you have the fact that as adults, I don't want to see Liz and Lucky reunite. I like Franco for Liz. It's a more mature relationship.
Rashana James agrees with Frank. The intervention was interesting. They did a really good one with Luke years ago, which I love that one.
Oh yeah, that was such a good episode.
That was such a good episode. Yeah. This one wasn't as stylized as that, but it worked. And I understood why Christina wasn't there because she'd be more of a problem than a help. I totally get that. I was like, that makes sense. And I just thought, and actually, Sam didn't annoy me as much.
Really?
She was very much like trying to be that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Frank. I'm like,
yeah, if you want me to not like a scene, drop Sam in it, and I'm guaranteed to be irritated by that scene. Yeah. It's just, I find her character just unwatchable.
And I hate because we've had like moments since we've been back where it was great for Sam. Like we've had a scene where she really does give it to Alexis and they give it back and forth that I really enjoyed. And then there was one where she was like actually talking to Jason, like pushing back. And then the working with Spinelli with the Helena Cassadine voice, that these have been great. But then 90% of it still I'm with Frank, where it's like, oh my God, I don't even call her Sam anymore. I like Puss because she's just always so negative and just hateful to everyone, like always trying to get in a fight. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. You're trying to fight Julian, you're trying to fight Valentin, and with no real just cause at this point. You have every right to dislike your father for many of the things he's done, but like when she flipped out over him talking to Cyrus, even though he's been telling him no, and it was just like, yeah, like Sam is crazy.
Well, I just keep. Go ahead, Frank.
Oh, I would only quickly say is that what I find most annoying about Sam, especially in a relationship like with Julian, and certainly Julian has done a lot of dumb stuff.
Oh yeah.
But Sam will come in and lay into him, and then we'll come back weeks later, whatever the storyline dictates, and need something from Julian, and then be irritated when Julian's not just jumping at everything. Like you've treated this guy like garbage, and you expect him to immediately be like, whatever you need. You check yourself, Sam.
I don't know. I just keep thinking, why isn't Lizzie Hartley here?
Yeah.
How do I say this? It wouldn't surprise me if Sam is either played by somebody else soon or Sam goes bye-bye and because to me, there's a reason they're really pushing Jason and Britt and it's working and and that's why I'm really afraid for little Danny because they did the same thing to Liz when Becky Hurst was let go years ago. Now that got reversed, same thing, they killed off Jake. They were really, this is what they do to Jason's women. And I'm seeing a pattern. And how do I say this? Sometimes people have played a character so long and they don't appreciate what they have, or they don't look like they're enjoying it. And it really can kind of be refreshing if you go do something else. That's why when Lindsay Hartley came in, I think a lot of us were like, oh, this is a different Sam. And maybe sometimes people just need to take a break.
Yeah. No, I mean, I could see if Danny did die in this explosion, that it's easy enough for Sam wanting to leave town to have some distance and take Scout with her, since it's not really Jason's child of truth.
Yeah.
And you can't really hold it against her. She's like, I'm just leaving town for a while. I can't be here.
Yeah, that would be fine with me.
Yeah.
Speaking of, because we have to start wrapping up soon, an hour. Was Maxie and Peter on this week? You know how I don't like to mention them. Really.
But come on, as somebody that enjoys a good shirtless scene, you did not enjoy Peter working the heavy bag? Come on, James Jr.
I even said to someone, you know how they could get a lot of people to like Peter? Get him with his shirt off, because Wes looks great. And you know what? They listened to me. And yeah. So at least he looks good with his shirt off. I always try to find the positive things about Peter, because they like Wes, they like Laura, and he's here to stay. They're trying to figure something out.
Yeah, that's right.
And those are the facts.
Those are no.
Yeah.
I don't want to get super shady, but you're right. I'm just saying that even shirtless by him couldn't do anything for me. I'm just like,
he's adorable. At least, like, Peter may not be your favorite character.
Donnell Turner shirtless scenes any day than Wes Ramsey. That's just me. I love that. I'll even take the guy who plays Brando. He's kind of hot too.
Oh yeah, Brando's pretty good looking, but he's no Cassadine.
I take some Wounded Rise shirtless scenes over him. I mean, there's some people. I mean,
no one works harder than Will. I don't think.
I know,
sure.
But I'm just not a fan at all. I'm just like, do we have to mention them at all? We just did mention them. Okay, done.
I mean, this one does need a kick in the pants, though. It does need to move to the next beat.
Oh, and John Seep, I love you, because you mentioned the thing that I love Wes Ramsey in and remembered him from Latter Days. Yeah, that is a sexy movie.
I remember Latter Days. I do.
And I mean, I do like, we do get the scene with Dante and his handler, giving him all the stuff that he got off the the invader's hard drive off of Peter's computer, but it's like, no, you know, I'm gonna take this. You don't need to worry about it anymore. Just complete the mission. Click, 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 click.
And then of course we got, you know, Taggart's just like running around. More folks are figuring out he's alive. Julian tells homeboy, yeah, there's Taggart, so you know. I mean, Ava knows. I mean, everybody just knows. It's like these secrets never stay buried. Secrets never stay under wraps. I mean, it's like he's living next door to Sonny. I mean, like.
I mean, I have to admit, I did like Julian kind of crossing that line.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're going down the road with Julian. So like, there's gonna be no saving this guy. When he said, "Hey, yeah, Taggart's alive," you know, I know this.
He just endangered half of Port Charles by saying that.
Yeah,
literally he did. He literally just endangered half of Port Charles.
And see, if Ava finds out about that, she might be the one to kill him. Because what'd she say? She was very protective of Trina, and that's what I really like, that we've seen a difference in Ava and more of her motherly side, and we're getting, you know, the Prince Nicholas, and I think that we're going good with Ava, and even her relationship with Sonny. We have him talk to Taggart about that, and we see Nicholas protect Ava. That was one of my favorite scenes.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was good.
I enjoyed that tremendously because it was just a different.
Yeah,
like I was so tired of the earlier iteration of that relationship. I'm glad we're hopefully moving away from all that stuff and just seeing how they can function together as a couple. Then there's a lot more story to be gained from them kind of being together than being at odds.
yeah, and more of the kinky scenes. I love those. Yeah, you know, I love me some Cassidines.
Yes, you would. And yes, the Taggart epiphany scene was good too. So I mean, and yes, and Brad shirtless. And I'll take Perry shirtless.
Oh yeah.
Too. I mean, he was working out. You know, he was working out so on his time off. So, I mean,
yeah, he earned it.
That's true. I mean, I agree. And then again, you just knew it with Julian. Like, if you're going to send him to eliminate Ryan, you got to realize he's going to get that information. So
oh yeah.
Cyrus pulls out that letter and says, "Oh, I've read all this. I'm just going to hold on to this. So, you know, you owe me big time." Like, Julian, come on, buddy. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Ava could not figure it out. Like, when she was like, "Who's this mysterious person you owe something to?" Who do you think, Ava? Who do you think?
That was really weird and un-Ava-like, because at least we've had both Ava and Nicholas be their smart selves. And same thing with Valentin. We're like, we're allowing people to be smart. But occasionally you have a flip up, like Anna or Finn has to be a dum-dum for a day. And now we have Ava.
I hate when they do that too. It's like, come on. And again, I'll never forget she's standing there. She sees her twin sister slowly coming to her. She ran to her. She's like in her heels, walking her. I was like, you couldn't walk this way or go that way before she came to you. You couldn't duck.
What I do like is just the lapse in geography for Port Charles, because when it's Cyrus and Julian at the dock saying, "All right, call me on my burner when you're done," pretty much the next scene, he's at General Hospital already, walking in the tail end of Britt's conversation. How the hell did Cyrus get there so fast?
I know. And he don't walk fast either.
No.
Just like
he's very horror movie villain.
Exactly. It's like he don't walk fast either. So it's like, how does that happen? I don't understand. I mean, that's just kind of crazy. He's not fast, but he gets around town. I mean, he just kind of slithers in everywhere, and all of a sudden, there he is. Oh, Miss Dr. Robinson. Like he just shows up. It's like, where all day long? How do you run a mob business?
I love how he's always creeping around the corner, and those creepy signs that are in General Hospital too. Yeah. That is one thing I will say. Jeff Cover is a great actor, and I actually enjoy Cyrus as a villain.
Yeah, no, he's good. No, he's good.
Yeah.
I like him. It's just very. I make jokes about him because it's just kind of.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he's always creeping around every corner. He's like Santa Claus.
The line with him when he puts his hand on Alexis, and I felt like, all right. Usually Cyrus has been kind of just when somebody's tearing into him, he's still keeping his hands off of people, but he went and crossed that line. And once you touch somebody in the Jason orbit, Jason magically appeared to say, "Hey, stop it! Don't you do that."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we did see a brief Britt and Cyrus scene. So
Yeah.
And we have not talked about the best storyline this week. By that I mean the worst is having the whole stupid, oh, we faked this affair to drive you to each other to save Wiley. Having to listen to both Carly and Chase kind of explain the story to Willow and Michael. Just it's like this story is even stupider in the retelling than it was the actual enduring of it. So come on,
Frank. I tried to ignore this storyline. And you had to bring it up as a co-host. I was glossed over that in the show, but I guess you brought up Lacretia. Yes, what were you saying?
Well, the one positive I will say, the way they did the reveal with Carly telling Michael and Chase telling Willow at the same time, the way they shot that and the way that played out was good. But yeah, and I'm glad that it's out and then we could just be done. But I think some people, I'm still not sure Sasha's going to live, because to me, if she lives, where do we go from here? I mean, yes, she survived that night, but how many characters have died later to make a worse impact? And especially being as she's in Cyrus's hospital, he already tried to kill her.
I mean, So, I mean, I thought both of them were in that same position that easily reachable by anybody working for Cyrus.
And she did it, Michael, so she has to die.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is now that Willow's had sex with Michael, she could die soon too. That's what'll happen.
So everybody, 56 people watch. That's the most we ever had. Again, every week it's getting bigger and bigger, guys. Thank you so much for watching us live. It's amazing. I love you guys. We won't be here next week. We'll be back the following week, December 6th. I'm taking the weekend off. It's Thanksgiving weekend. We're going dark.
Yeah, but I'll be here at 6 o'clock just talking out loud in my office.
In your office. We'll all go books and stuff back there and see DVDs. And literally, I'll be having a tryptophan coma for the rest of the weekend. All the
oh yeah, me too.
And the drinks, so the eggnog. So we're doing that. But I want everyone, please have a really, 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 really safe holiday weekend, because I know, and I don't know, wherever you live, it's different everywhere. But I know COVID is attacking everybody. LA they're shutting down LA basically. So I'll be home on my own, eating quietly. Watching football, the Macy's Day Parade, which is virtual, and it's going to be Mario Lopez hosting it. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I know exactly. That's what I said exactly. I was like, let's see what happens.
Will the Cowboys win? Probably not, but
they'll try.
We did tonight. Yeah.
But see, I can't hear you, Lacretia, because my team is 9-0 right now. My Steelers. I can't really hear you. My team keeps winning, so it's kind of
you and Anthony Jeselnik both. Well, hey, we're the one team that got close to beating you, and that's pretty bad. We suck.
You guys are like, no more sports talk, people. I'm sorry. Sorry, we like sports. Anyway, but Frank, tell them where they can find you if they want to give you some Thanksgiving wishes.
Oh, sure, guys. Why would you want to waste your time doing that? Do it. Save it you actually like and love. But find me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie.
And Lacretia, tell him, you give it to him, Lacretia. Give it to him.
Well, since I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys, you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one. And I do a soap podcast as well. It's called Believe, BLEAV, in soap operas. That's where you can find this one anywhere but YouTube, because I don't want a filming mess, but I will be live with Jerry Waggett on the Stereo app. If you download that, you can listen to us live at 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow.
And Jerry is a host, sometime host here on JLJ Media. We can show the award shows here. We love him. And he got on the cover of Book magazine just recently. His short story made the cover. So congratulations to him. Christmas story. So I saw it today. So I'm very happy for him. We love Jerry. You can find the whole soap block. It's here on JLJ Media. It's all up now. It's all on YouTube. You can find it everywhere. And also on the streaming services, everywhere on JLJ Media. You can find me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold, at James Lott Jr. on all the social media platforms. Yes. Mr. Rowe comes out next Monday. Very excited. Everyone, be safe. Happy Thanksgiving.